It's a Sunday morning now, about a week or so after we separated out some of the goosanki from this grow on pond and moved them into the other one in the background here. The ones that were moved out, you can really see a difference now already in the bulk in their bodies. I'll maybe actually just take a quick walk around and show you these. That's the Isashoas, Marado and Shintaro stuff. There's a bit of a swamp in here at the minute. I say they're getting so fed so much. You can probably see this feeder in the background. I think that holds about 2 kilos of food, and that's just going in nearly sort of about every 36 hours or so after it's getting used up completely. I'll just flick this around and we'll be able to see some of them. I don't know what the clarity's pretty bad, and they're just after a food or after a feeding, so they'll probably not come up too quickly, but there's definitely a big difference already in sort of just a week and a half or so, and you can see the fish really starting to bulk up now, even though I've switched on to the Saki Hikari. Yeah, they're on Saki Hikari growth mostly, and about 25% of that's made up of the Saki balance. So it was literally 2 damaged sacks that we had left over, so that's the last of it that we've got. The rest of the Saki stuff we'll have left at the minute is all sinking. This tank here, we've got predominantly metallics, Chagoi, Ginrin Chagois from Marasaka, some Asagi from Otsuka, Marasaka metallics, and some Yamasan long fins. So I'm going to catch a few of these up just to get a gauge on what sort of size they're at the minute, and just see how they're doing. I might need to thin out some more. There's a big difference in the size of some of them. Some of them have shot on really well, and some of them are sort of lagging behind, which is to be expected really when you have that many fish in a small volume of water, because some of them are out competing the others. I'll just set this camera up on the other side while I catch these up. Yeah, so I'm just going to try and catch a few of the bigger sizes and some of the smaller sizes here, just to see if it's at all possible. Again, this water's still sitting at 26.5 degrees, so it might just not be that easy to catch a few. And they're certainly going to doing a bit of jumping here. Again, the water's very, very cloudy and dirty looking, a lot of particles in it, but it's just when they're getting fed that much food, it's near impossible to keep the water crystal clear. Certainly if the water is that clear, I know I'm definitely not feeding enough. It's always interesting to grow these fish on over a year. It gives me a better insight into what people should be expecting from their fish if they're buying these as Tosai off us. Oh. My Kage Shirotsuri from Otsuka. I really should be using a seine net here, but I don't really want to be netting too many. I only want maybe a dozen fish out of it. They're definitely fast at these temperatures. Even the long fins, which you wouldn't expect to have that much speed about them at these in a pond like this, but they're next to impossible. You're just trying to corner as many as you can in and hope that you can scoop a couple. It's a nice asagi there from Otska. No, right, thanks. Yeah, they've worked out to stay up in this corner now, so. That's probably the biggest karashigoi that we have. I'm sure it must be over 40 cm now, or close to it anyway. Just try and get a couple of these Ginrin chagois. They look really good. So they've completely changed colour. They were very pale when they came in. Now obviously the higher temperatures will darken the skin down a bit. It'll be interesting to see just how they do when we bring the temperatures back down. If we can get one or two more, that'll be good enough. I'd really like to catch a couple more of these asagis because they look really good. They're all bunched up in this corner underneath another karashigoi under Dickigoi. Trying to spot a couple of the asagis. Yeah, one or two more and that'll be enough. And you just see the difference in the size of some of these now. I've caught a couple of the smaller ones there. It's very obvious. They're not going to be big growers. Another one of the chagois. Yeah, that'll probably do. We'll get a few of these up into the floating basket here, hopefully without any incident. I'd say they're going to be lively enough trying to move these up, but we'll give it a go. Yeah. So these are Marasaka Ginrin chagois. This is probably the biggest one of the four that I've got out. I think there's a couple slightly bigger in there, but they give me an idea on size. Yeah, so they're 37, 38 centimeters. You can see how dark, well, hopefully you can see how dark they've got on the camera. Nice deep brown colour, but I'm not too sure what they'll do when the temperatures drop. You can see this one's a good bit lighter. Really nice, good quality Ginrin on these as well. Right down the sides of the fish. Sometimes it's harder to get it to come right down the side of the fish like that. You'll see it on their backs, but really, really nice down the sides of the fish. I think that's probably the smallest one in there, which is sort of about 30, 34, 35 cm. Probably going to give these guys another 6 or 7 weeks at these temperatures and these feeding rates. See how they do. It's starting to get harder and harder to manage the water quality just with it as the fish increase in size and the food really increases. We've added on a large fluid bed onto the, as well as the bead filter, just to help us to push that feeding rate a bit higher again. But really, really nice fish. These good strong bodies. That one there certainly has the biggest body of those four. Good high back on it. Good potential for growth so far. I've never grown this breeder's chagois before, so I don't know how quickly they'll grow, but like most chagois, I'm sure they'll do really, really well. I'll put these guys back and get some of the different ones out. Really nice that. A fish that you would expect they've grown well, but hasn't. Well, probably one of the smallest fish in the tank. Bear in mind these fish all sort of went in similar sizes. These are all fish from Otska. These would have been the smallest ones probably that went in. They were maybe only 8 or 9 cm. That's another Oscar. Oscar as well. I'll stick this one in as well. It's that was an Isashoa, which has lost all its belly. It just has a small few scales on this side, but I would expect them probably to disappear. It's getting smaller by the week. End up potentially a nice shiro. That's about 33 cm. You just see it. I even knew when I was putting it in with it was one of the fish I held back and didn't put in the grow and show because I just wasn't too sure about the belly quality when it arrived. It was a bit flaky, and you could see this white line between the scales here. It wasn't as prominent as that, but when the fish bent, you could see the white line between the scales. So that he did look very, very weak to start with, and potentially could end up a nice enough shiro. So I'll put that back in. Shiro it certainly. These are all sort of smaller sizes. They did start smaller, but it's bang on 30 cm, that one. This is quite small, but nice enough fish. Clean for a Kage Shiro Atsuri. If it keeps this, if the grey on the back stays as clear as it is at the minute, and the rest of the sumi comes good, it'll be end up quite a nice fish, I think. It's quite small. I think they're only about 26, 27 cm at the minute. Oh, the baby. These were all the same size, so it just shows you that not every fish has the potential to grow quickly for whatever reason. That's only about 23, 24 cm. A small Akamatsuba as well. They've grown on a bit better since I separated out all the Gosanki from the pond. And actually still even increased the feed, even though we took 30 fish or so out of the pond. That's about 26 cm, 27 maybe. These guys are becoming quite popular. And I really like these two Asagis from Otska as well. Really nice balance on this one on the head pattern. Just enough bit Benny, not too much, because I think if they have too much at that age, they can overwhelm the fish a bit as it gets bigger. But yeah, they've done reasonably well too. That's about 34, 35 cm. Really clean skin. The head stayed really nice and clear as well. And just a bit in the anal fins as well. It shows that maybe over the winter when the temperatures drop, you can see a bit even down on the side here. As the temperatures drop, that Benny might start to develop a bit more and thicken up. Certainly, definitely a fish worth growing on. This one's quite similar in terms of potential. Nice clean head, Benny's up on both sides of the fish. Bit more on this one down the side and under the belly. But still not that heavy that I would be worrying about it, that it's going to overpower the rest of the fish. Would have been nice maybe just to see a bit in the dorsal, but that'll maybe come. Slightly smaller I think than the last one. Yeah, about 30. 32, 33. Nice fish though. Just hope these are showing up okay on the camera. There's not too much glare. These are a few of Tim's favourite fish, these ones. He did ask me to grow on a couple for his own pond. Missed that Akimatuba on the last ones. Yeah, so this guy here's done really well in terms of size. I'm not going to measure the full tail obviously, but it probably must be close to 35, 36 cm without the big long tail on it. Yeah, like a Kogan Achiba. These are from Yamasan. These guys are a bit smaller. There's another metallic Achiba there. A bit smaller, probably say around 30, 32, something like that. Yeah. Small Hana Shisui, long fin. Must be about 25 or so. Yeah. Like an Aragoki Platinum Ogon, long fin. Hasn't grown as well though. Maybe 25 cm, 24, 25. Another small Akamatsuba. Didn't really get to catch too many of these metallics. They're quite hard to see and catch in there. That's a nice one from Marasaka. Oh. Yeah, think these are all from Marasaka. This here looks really nice. Nice fins and clean head. Interesting pattern on the head. Not much pattern on the body, but nice fish all the same. Certainly be expecting to get a couple more inches on, or well, 5 or 6 more centimetres on these fish in the next few weeks. See what size that is. They're lively. 34 cm that one. A bit smaller and chunkier this one. I don't think this one's maybe going to grow that big, but certainly nice clean skin, good getting in on it. Yeah, so 28 cm for them. I hope to get these up to sort of 35, 36 cm, the smaller ones, and the bigger ones certainly 40 to 45. Really like this one. Probably the biggest one out of what's growing on. I think this one's actually from Ugenji. And I think this, you can see a slight difference in the coloration. That's more like a Kigoi from Otsuka. A small, I think that was Marado Sankey. Could possibly be Shintaro, I can't remember. I need to go back over the photographs. These were quite small, they were only like 10 to 12 cm when they came in. That's over 30 anyway. Smaller here has the Akami eyes, the red eye. About 38 cm. And the Genji Karashigoi is about 42, 43 cm. Done really well. Not sure what's going on with the centre of the scales. This will probably darken down as the temperature. It's a bit like a Kohaku in terms of the coloration will deepen and thicken as the temperatures drop and you get a year's growth over them. You stop the feeding and then the skin can redevelop again, the coloration in the skin can thicken up again. Everything's going into the growth of the fish at the minute and the skin's stretching. Yeah, nice big strong fish. That's it. I'll probably check back on these and just before I go to Japan in October. So that's all those ones. A sample of what we've been growing on there, caught up, measured just to get me an idea roughly what size the rest of them are in the ponds. But they seem to be doing a lot better now. I've thinned out quite a few. So we'll probably check back on these maybe just before we go to Japan, around the 13th or 14th of October. I'll get another video on just to see what difference the growth is in that sort of 4 or 5 weeks or 4 weeks before I go away. Okay, thanks for watching.